Hey, what's up guys, go back to my channel to call me, and yeah, so, let's do a review on HBO's The Last of Us, episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Now, of course, spoilers, so if you haven't watched the show, go ahead and watch it, or if you don't care, just listen to what I'm going to say. So, yeah, The Last of Us show. So far, with the 4 episodes I've saw, it's pretty good. You know, I like it, I enjoy watching it, but, I will say, I don't like it as much as the game. So, I already played the game, so I already know when things are gonna happen. And yeah, I do anticipate when moments are gonna happen on the show, like, oh man, I can't wait to see how the show is gonna execute this, or how they're gonna handle this, you know, because I'm just gonna say, it's not bad, alright? It's good, but it's just, the game has just way more emotion, way more weight. Like, I know I shouldn't be comparing the show to the game, but it's hard for me because I played the game so many times. So yeah, let's talk about characters. There's Joel and Ellie. Those are the main characters throughout the show so far. But let's talk about other characters too, like Sarah. So Sarah, there's been a lot of hate on the race swapping, but you know, I'll talk about that later. But you know, Sarah is no longer white; she's a biracial chick, and yeah. I understand why they did this, is because, you know, they race swapped Joel, so it's like, alright, might as well race swap everyone else who's blood related to Joel, so it just makes sense. So, I actually like Sarah, you know, they made sure they gave her more scenes and extended the time before the apocalypse, you know. Now, with all that extra scene, it brings more weight to her death, because, you know, you got to know her more. And, you know, for me, a person who already knows that she's gonna die, you know, I had a tear. It was like, oh man, they did it. Like, a person who saw her die like 20 times already, it made me tear up again. Because in the game, there's not a lot of scenes with her, especially because she dies. But in the show, there's like almost a false belief, like, hey, we're focused on her really heavy. Is she gonna live? No, she's dead. Now, Tommy, Gabriel Luna. So he did a good job, I thought. You know, he got his accent right. Now, they did a few changes on him. Other than his skin, they made him into a veteran, and also they made him become a firefly instead of a hunter. I guess on the show, at least, hunters don't exist no more, because no one's talking about them. You know, Joel and Tommy used to be hunters, and all of the scenes where the hunters were supposed to be are either replaced by infected or other factions. So hunters are a shitty faction, you know, they just steal and kill, you know, that's what they do. And Joel and Tommy used to be them, you know, throughout the game, Ellie always asks about Joel's past. And, you know, Joel was just like, yeah, I was a shitty person, all right? Like, I don't want to talk about this no more. And the split between Tommy and Joel happened because they were hunters, you know? It's like, I guess it ruined their relationship. I forgot. I don't remember why specifically. But that's probably one of the reasons. But instead on the show, they split because, you know, Tommy believed in the Fireflies, and the ideology, I guess they're trying to imply, is extreme or just crazy, you know, and that's why they split. Now, turning Tommy into a veteran, I don't know why they added that. Some people are saying that, you know, this kind of adds to why Tommy was a good sniper, you know, and even taught Ellie how to snipe. You know, maybe it's that. I don't know. Now, there's not a lot of Tommy scenes right now. He's only been in the first episode before, you know, the apocalypse happened. That's the only screen time we had of him. So let's talk about Tess. So I think the game Tess is a better character than what we got Tess on the show. I feel like Tess in the show is more used as a tool, because right now in the show, they're implying that, you know, Joel and Tess are in a relationship, but, you know, Joel doesn't want to admit it. But, you know, Tess knows that, all right, I know he doesn't want to admit it because he doesn't want anybody, you know, in him, so I'm not going to force him to feel what I feel. So in the show, they use her death to make Joel into a better person, a person that will love again. Alright, so now let's talk about the two main characters, Joel and Ellie. So Pedro Pascal as Joel, I gotta admit it, he's not really good. I don't like him as Joel, sadly, man. Like, his performance is very simple, you know? The way he talks is just, it's the same all the time, just trying to sound tough. And, you know, like, I just like the performance on the game way better. It's way more dynamic. Now, there are good moments, but overall, his acting is just very simple. Now, that was my opinion before the 4th episode. when the 4th episode came out, I kind of changed my point of view now, because Joel in this episode, I guess he finally realized, man, everybody I knew is dead except for my brother, who I'm trying to find. But yeah, I don't think I should live like this. Live, just a life of solitude. Maybe I should interact, and maybe I should make more friends. Now, let's talk about Bella Ramsey as Ellie. I think she's actually doing a pretty good job, but I don't know, there's something's wrong with my brain. She's like 80% there. It's just, I'm a bully, man. She doesn't look like Ellie, alright? It's just, other than the looks, she does a great job as Ellie. I'm loving all of her performance, and especially in the 4th episode. The 4th episode is an important episode, but yeah. Here's one criticism I have, and this is going to be talking about, season 2. I don't see Bella Ramsey playing as adult Ellie. Man, Ellie is supposed to be like 5'2" when she's 14. Bella Ramsey is 5'1", and she's 19. She's not going to grow. She's going to stay 5'1" in season 2, and they're saying they're going to keep her. So what the hell are they going to do to make her look more threatening? Because in Last of Us Part 2, Ellie's doing a lot by herself, and I don't see Bella Ramsey's little ass doing the same thing Ellie's doing in the game. I don't see it, alright? So yeah, let's give a review on each of the episodes. So I'll talk about, things I like, things I don't like, and also I want to talk about the changes on each of the episodes, because the show does a lot of changes, as you know. I actually like it, because as a person who already played the game, it keeps me on my toes whenever they change some stuff. Like, oh, wait a minute, they went to a different route. It's like someone who already read the manga and is watching the anime. It's like, I already know what's gonna happen. I'm only watching for the animation and the voice acting. That's it. But yeah, I actually enjoy the changes. Now, they're not major changes to where it's like, wait, what the fuck? What am I watching? Is this The Last of Us? It's just changes because things that you're going to do on a game isn't going to translate well on a show. So they just either cut things off or they make the process even shorter by replacing with something else. So yeah, episode 1, which in my opinion is the best episode so far. And also, this is the longest episode out of the 4. An hour and 30 minutes. My God. What is this, a movie? Is this the Avatar? That's what I felt like. But yeah, this was a pretty long episode. So in the introduction, we get these scientists on a TV show talking about the funguses that we'll see in the show, and talking about how dangerous and potentially it could kill us all if it could somehow go to humans. And, they talk about, oh, that would be impossible. Unless the world gets warmer. And the line delivery is amazing. I was like, holy shit. I love that. All right, I'm in. So after that, we get the life before the apocalypse. We see Sarah, Tommy, and Joel having a happy life before shit hits the fan. I actually think the show did a better job with this intro than on the game, because we got to see the world before the apocalypse. We also got more scenes with Sarah, and also the show did a great job anticipating the apocalypse happening. Like, you see little by little, it's like, huh, there's a lot of cops running around. Oh man, everybody's closing their stores down. That's pretty strange. Oh, this old lady that I'm neighbors with is acting strange. Huh, I don't know why. I just loved it. The stakes were getting higher and higher until people started eating each other. And that's when you knew, oh, fuck. Because in media, we don't have too many, like shows or movies showing off how fragile society is. And in a snap, either it's, a war, disease, or even environmental crisis, just in a snap, society has crumbled. The laws we've made to make this world fair and to protect us is now gone, and now we're all in tribal mode. So yeah, these entire scenes was amazing. I loved it. I loved the kind of nod where it's like, huh, they almost got crashed by a car, just like in the game, but now they're gonna be crashed by a plane. Then we get to the famous scene, Sarah's death. I personally thought the scene in the show was better than on the game. Now, because of the extra screen time we have with Sarah, it just makes her death way more sadder, because the show kind of gave us a false belief. Even though I play the game, it's like, wait a minute, we're spending way too much time with Sarah. Is she gonna live through it? Oh no. So yeah, after her death, we fast forward 20 years from now. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this is supposed to be all based on 2003. I'm talking about, you know, the past. I don't know how to feel about that. My problem with that is whenever an apocalypse happens, usually the technology, books, movies, everything, culture is time frozen when the apocalypse happens. So everything we see, you know, technology, books, culture, it's supposed to look like 2003. My problem with this is, one, in the game it's supposed to be based in 2013. Two, a few things like the technology, like this infector detector. I don't know what it was actually called, but like it detects if you're infected. For me, it's way more believable if this was taking place in 2013. Like, oh man, out of the scraps of iPhones and laptops, we are able to make this thing. It's like, oh, okay, I guess. But in 2003, every part to make that is either too heavy or not slim. In 2003, we had monitors that looked like this, and it was outputting 800p. And that was my little nitpick, you know. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating, maybe I'm not, I don't know. So yeah, after that, it fast-forwards to Boston, and we get to see Tess and Ellie, and it ends after Joel beating up a Fedra agent. So yeah, I thought the first episode was really good. So let's move on to the second one. The second one is them now wandering around Boston. We focus more on scientists, and man, like, yo, I'm just questioning, like, why don't they make shows like this? This is very interesting, what we're seeing right now. I don't know, this felt like the guy who made Chernobyl wanted to make some show like this, like talking about like how outbreaks happen, you know, the start of it. And man, it was very interesting. Like, I'm just like, yo, I want to see a show like this. But man, so sadly we don't get that. But yeah, in the beginning of the episode, we get a scientist, you know, like in Malaysia, was eating, and you know, soldiers came up and was like, oh, we're trying to find you because we got a certain disease that you might be qualified to understand. So yeah, they took her to this laboratory. She checked the body that was infected and got killed by other people that was infected, and she was in disbelief. She didn't think things like this would happen. So when she came back to talk to the soldiers, you know, like, oh, so you got a vaccine for this? She's like, vaccines? There is no vaccines. Bomb this shit! Because they got one dead body, and there's other people that have gotten bitten, and they're still out there. So it's like, oh, we're fucked. Yeah, this world's done. You see her reaction is like, holy shit, yeah, this is pretty big. if her reaction is like this, like, that's it. Can I go back to my family? So yeah, this was a really good introduction. Now the second episode is when I realized, all right, this is where you could see there's going to be a huge difference between the game and the show, because Boston in the game has so much to explore, and of course, they can't compress that all in one episode. They only focus on two main areas, and that was the museum and the ending where Tess dies. Now in the museum, that's where we finally see clickers, and the clickers on this show look amazing. The makeup, the sound design, the way they act, it's perfect on this show. So then after that, we get the final scene where Tess dies. Now, one of the scenes that I just don't like about this episode is the way she dies. So in the game, she dies because, you know, oh, they found out she was infected. She got bit. So the way she goes out is there was a lot of Phaedra agents surrounding the building. They were coming to get them. She decides to just stay and hold them off while Joel and Ellie leave. Now, the way she dies on the show is, instead of Phaedra agents coming over and trying to kill them, it's actually infected. And just like the game, she's already infected, so she thought, alright, I'll just stay and hold them off and explode this building. Now, while she was getting ready to explode the building, an infected saw her and decided to just tongue kiss her. I have played both of The Last of Us. I have never heard an infected sexually assaulting someone. I just think it's disrespectful for the character to just die off like this. Cause Tess is like like the definition of a strong female character. She goes off, exploding herself, and right before that, gets sexually assaulted by a zombie. What the fuck? I could have thought of better ways to make that scene way more intense, because I know why they did it. It's because, you know, oh, could she light up the lighter? Oh, is she gonna, you know, explode the building? Oh, you know, it's to hide intention. But I just don't like it. So now let's talk about episode 3. Oh man, surprisingly, not the most controversial episode. I was very surprised. I I was expecting a lot of people complaining, but I guess everybody knew Bill was gay. So yeah, the entire episode was just dedicated to just Bill and Frank, and how people in the most darkest time can still find love. I thought the episode was actually pretty good. The only thing is odd is sometimes I am just like watching this, I'm like, are we still watching The Last of Us? It's like, yeah, sure, their names is Bill and Frank, but it doesn't feel like I'm watching a zombie apocalypse. It just looks like I'm watching like a rom-com of a gay couple in the middle of nowhere, you know? Sometimes, you know? So the biggest change they did to Bill and Frank comparing to the games is, Bill and Frank loved each other, and Frank was very ill, and, you know, he wanted to kill himself, you know, and Frank was like, oh, okay, we'll just die together, and they did, peacefully. Now, compared to the game, Bill and Frank hated each other. I'm not sure what their relationship was in the beginning. Maybe they were lovey-dovey, but then, you know, the relationship between them got sour, and, you know, Frank was like, you know what, fuck this, I'd rather go out and die instead of live with you. It's like, well, damn, this is a big-ass change. So yeah, between the show and the game, it's complete opposite on how Frank and Bill love each other, or like how they went off, you know. It's completely different from the two. What I thought maybe they could have showed, like, in the beginning of their relationship, like, oh, we love each other and all that shit. But as they get older, you know, they get more grumpier, they get more mad at each other, like, man, fuck you. Like, maybe they don't have a lovey-dovey relationship, like, oh, I love you so much. Maybe they fuck with each other a lot. Or maybe throughout the years, you know, their love between each other becomes more distant, and, you know, it's to the point where Frank wants to leave. And when he leaves, a mile away, he dies. Because my only problem is, alright, it's gonna sound really mean, but, like, their relationship is too perfect. Like, you know, this can't be, alright? There's gotta be something. I mean, you gotta hate each other just a little bit. Like, we don't get nothing like that. Like, we don't see them argue or shit. Like, yeah, fuck you. No, fuck you. Yeah, fuck me. Yeah, it becomes the We Cry Together Kendrick Lamar song, you know? Now, either way, the game or the show, both of them does a really good job connecting that to Joel. How the game does it is, you know, we meet Bill, and Bill is just a very angry person. The people around him leave him, and, you know, we get a note of his partner saying, yeah, I wanted to leave. If I die like this, good. It's a better way to go off than be living with you. It's like, god damn. But Joel sees this, he's like, damn, he read the note, and he saw the body hanging. It was like, god damn, this could be me. And I don't mean like he could be Frank. No, he could have been Bill. Now, Bill and Joel, they're pretty similar characters. They don't want people in their life. They don't want to have loved ones around. They want to be distant. They want to be alone. You know, pretty similar characters. Now, Joel sees this. He sees Bill becoming a bitter person. People who love him around him left him, and he's all alone. That could have been him. Now, the show, I actually thought, even with all my complaints, you know, like, it looks like the relationship is too perfect, you know, I wish it was more, you know, like, similar to the game, or at least a little bit. I wanted to see Ellie and Bill, you know, interact with each other. Even with all my complaints, this does a good job connecting it to Joel like the games. It shows that even a person like Bill can still find happiness and love. And he wrote that all in his notes. And also reminding him to take care of Tess, which was a person who was like, you know, Frank with Bill, was a person that was trying to connect to Joel, and he lost it. So this all adds up until the 4th episode. The 4th episode, there's not much to it, but a lot of it is Joel finally connecting with Ellie. Finally talking to her, not as a cargo, but to as a person, and, you know, telling her stories and laughing at jokes, you know, just like enjoying her company. All right, so episode 5. So I just watched it. I was making this video. I was just being like, oh, episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I'm like, 5th episode's almost coming. I might as well just wait. So the 5th episode, we finally get to see Sam and Henry. Now, in the 4th episode, they did mention, you know, they're trying to find Henry, but we don't know why. You know, Kathleen was so obsessed in finding him, and now we know why. It's because Henry killed her brother. So like I said, I just watched this. You know, my review on episode 1, 2, 3, and 4 were recorded at a different time. This is fighting against being the best episode. The first episode is still the best episode, but this is a very strong second. And right now, in my brain, it is in conflict in being, for me, the best episode. So let's talk about Sam and Henry, and also how different they are from the game to the show. So I thought the actors did a pretty good job in doing their performance, especially Sam, because might as well talk about it right now. Sam from the game to the show are completely different, because in the show, Sam is death. Now, after the credits, we get this behind-the-scene video, a vlog, where the directors talk about what their opinions about each episode. We found out that the actor for Sam is actually death. And also, we get to hear Neil Druckmann's opinions about the change. So, the director was like, how do we get Sam to be more dependent on Henry? And he said, why don't we just make Sam deaf? And Neil Druckmann was like, damn, I wish I made that idea. So yeah, I love this episode. They had great action. Sam and Henry were really good characters. I liked, in the first 10 minutes of the show, it was just them. And it was without dialogue. It was just them doing sign languages. I thought it was very interesting. But man, I knew what was coming. I knew what was gonna happen at the end of the episode. And, the show really did a good job. Like, my heart was beating throughout the episode. I was so scared what was gonna happen. At first, I thought when they went to the hotel, that I was like, oh, this is it. That's it. This is gonna happen. When Sam told Ellie that he was bitten, and she was like, oh, my blood is actually very, it's the cure. It was just trying to comfort Henry. I thought it was really sweet. But at first, I thought, oh, don't tell me Sam is gonna, be cured because Ellie shared her blood to him. But he didn't. So, Sam turned. Henry saw it happen and killed him. And killed himself. Holy shit. I cried inside, it was very sad. Like, again, man, the show somehow knew how to make people cry. Even though I played this game so many times, this was a really good episode. This made me feel really sad. And the actor for Henry, he did such a good job, man. What did I do? I saw so much emotion passing by, his facial. Yo, this is better than the Sarah death. You gotta be honest, man. And that's why it's fighting to be the best episode, better than the first episode. Man, fuck it. Two legends can coexist, all right? Fuck it. Now, the difference between Sam and Henry, between the show and the game, are pretty different. I don't know, Sam and Henry, they're kind of cocky or just don't think very intelligently. Sam's like, oh, see, I told you. It's like, bro, we're only in 2 seconds in this tunnel. We don't know if anything is inside here. And even when they were outside, Henry was just talking out loud, and Joel was like, what the fuck you shit? It's like, no one's here, and someone was there. And when Henry tried to run out of the sniper area, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he went back to the car to take cover. It's like, you just dumb. So they made these characters just a little bit dumb. Henry, he's not, he like he said, he's not a killer, but in the game, okay, now compared to the game, yeah, Henry did kill, to survive. And also, their original roles were they were trying to find fireflies too, just like Joel and Ellie, and they decided to just group up and go together. So overall, I don't mind the changes. The changes were pretty good. It just, man, just like with the game, man, it was really sad, and I love this episode. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about something other than Henry and Sam in this episode. Kathleen, she is the leader of this liberated faction. They took down Fedra, and now they're going after, civilians that backed Fedra. Listen, they tried really hard to make her sympathetic, but she's just a crazy bitch. Yeah, it's like, oh, my brother was such a good man, my brother, oh, I'm so sad, oh, I'm gonna go back to my child room and, just reminisce on my sad, oh, I'm sad, I'm my brother, they tried really hard to make her sympathetic. It's like, man, I don't give a shit about this woman. Then it's like, we found out, oh, she's just a crazy bitch. It's like, my brother would say, oh, forgive everybody, but I say, no, what's the point, I want to kill them all. It's like, damn, okay then, she's crazy. And on this episode, we got to see the bloater, and it was very disappointing. He came out, all he did was just punch people, lift someone on the ground and slammed into the ground. And the only cool scene we got is, one of the head soldiers for Kathleen got his head and his jaws split open. That was a very cool scene, and that's all we got. I was like, well, damn. I mean, Fuck, why'd you bring him? I was really hoping to see more creative and cool deaths from, you know, the infected, you know, like, oh, the way they kill people. You know, all we got is just, oh, I'm biting them, oh, I'm shaking, oh, no, I'm turning, oh, no, that's it. You know, I was really disappointed with the infected and how they came. It was very cool, you know, with the, you know, they coming from the ground and anticipating that shit, but, like, there wasn't enough cool scenes, you know, from it. I was really expecting a lot more cooler and creative shit. So yeah, that's all I could think about for the 5th episode. Really good episode. I love it. So yeah, my overall review watching all 5 is that I think the show's not bad. You know, there is a lot of things that the game has done better than on the show. The show, there are some scenes that I liked, you know, it's on par with the game, some of them, but like, I don't know, most of them, you know, it's just like, the game did it better. And also, I think the acting and performance is way better than on the game than on the show. Like, the game, whenever something happens, it affects the characters, but in the game, it's way more subtle. They don't make it too obvious like in the show. Like when Bill died, he basically made a note explaining to the audiences and Joel how his next character development should be. So yeah, show, I still think it's good. It's a 7 out of 10 so far. I'll probably do a review on the other, you know, last 4, I think it's 4 more episodes, and do like a big video like this. I don't know, maybe. But yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me Twitch and Twitter. So Twitch, and tweet and Twitter. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you later. Bye.